Thank you so much for being here. My name is Jono Long, and I am the owner and manager and whatever else I am at Social Sphere Media. And I lead the team here. We've got an awesome team that works with websites and social media and pay-per-click advertising and search engine optimization. And so the whole goal is to get our clients the leads. The whole goal today is to talk to you guys about how to maximize your lead flow with PPC and Google Ads. And I kind of use those terms interchangeably. PPC, in case you're not sure, we're talking about pay per click, meaning that you pay every time someone clicks on your ads, which is the way that Google Ads work. Now, there are other ad networks. Of course, there's Facebook ads, which really work completely opposite of Google Ads. And we'll talk about that in another webinar. But Google Ads are great because people are actually searching for what you have to offer. The intent is to find something to buy or find a service. So they are looking for a plumber near me, or who is the best plumber in my city. And that is where you can really win with ads. No one's going on Facebook and saying, I need a plumber near me. They may ask their friends for recommendations, but a Facebook ad is not going to serve you if someone is searching for your service on Google. A Facebook ad is just going to interrupt what they're doing on Facebook. Maybe they're interested, maybe they're not, maybe they'll remember you down the road. But Google Ads or PPC is really where it's at when you are looking to fire things up rather quickly. Now, I'm going to use those terms interchangeably because, yeah, you can do some pay-per-click ads on Bing, you can do some pay-per-click ads on Yahoo and some other places, but about 90% of the pay-per-click advertising is Google, and that's what we specialize in, and that's where we help people. And so hopefully today you guys will learn a few things, and I'm going to share some things, and I don't want to keep you too long. Nothing worse than a webinar that goes too long, nothing worse than a podcast that's longer than it's supposed to be. So we're going to be talking all about getting more leads with Google Ads. And so what we're going to cover today, and that's, of course, if you stay to the end, you'll get all this. But what we're going to cover today is why pay-per-click is the key to unlimited scalability in terms of lead flow for your business. And what you're going to see is that if you want to scale your business, if you want to grow your business, and you can get your ads tweaked and fine-tuned, depending on how much budget you've got, then if you spend the right amount of budget and get the ads in place like they need to be, then you can get to a place where you're turning $1 into $10. And so, you can do that all day long, as long as you've got some budget to spend and you can figure out what you're doing. We're also going to talk about how to set up and structure your pay-per-click marketing campaign for the minimum cost per lead and the maximum return on investment. Because if your cost per lead is so high, let's say your cost per lead could get up to like $100, and then your sale, that whatever you're getting, whatever you're making back is $150. Well, $100 per lead, it may not really be worth it to you. So we want to get the lead costs down so that you can get the maximum return on the investment. And then we're going to talk about some KPIs, some key performance indicators, how to track these ads to make sure that they're actually working. We'll talk about landing pages and the campaign structure. And we'll make this available. You can screenshot these if you like, because there's going to be a few screens that has a good bit of text on it that I think would be helpful. You're not going to remember it all, probably not going to write it all down. So you can just go ahead and screenshot these slides, or you can download them later. You're welcome to do that. And we just want to help you out. So one of the questions is, should pay-per-click be a part of my overall internet marketing strategy? Should I even bother with it? What happens a lot of times, and what we see a lot of times, is that, again, at the end of the day, our goal is to make your phone ring, or to get you more leads, to get you more sales. And that's what everybody cares about. And we do find that our clients in the end don't really care how we do it, as long as it's ethical and legal. But if we can get you leads, then who cares how we're doing that? Now, a lot of times clients come to us and want to dictate how we are to get those leads for them. And maybe they don't want to include pay-per-click. And so I would say that yes, pay-per-click should be a part of your overall internet marketing strategy. And that overall internet marketing strategy should include several things. And you can't really just grab one piece of the pie and expect that to do the same as the entire pie. So this is kind of what we call our online dominance method, and we'll just look at this real quick. But we start over here, number one, with search engine optimization. Okay, and we want to make sure that your website's where it needs to be, that you're building some citations over the across the internet on business directories. You're doing some blogging. You're getting some 5-star reviews. Then the next part of that is pay-per-click. And that's where we get into Google AdWords or being searched, if that's something you want to do. Then we can actually retarget. So if someone, when we say retargeting, we're talking about, how you look at you like a picture of a blue shirt on Instagram, and all of a sudden now Google or Facebook is showing you ads for blue shirts all over the place, and Amazon too. So we can retarget based on what people are doing with your website and what they're doing with your other ads. Then we can start looking at some paid online directories like Yellow Pages, Angie's List. Depending, there's one for every niche. So depending on your industry, there may be a specialty one that you want to get in there. Home services, Angie's List, those for you guys there. Then it may make sense for you to get into email marketing, but certainly being alive and active on social media is all a part of this. And then from there, again, you might be interested, and it might work for you. It doesn't work. Again, it doesn't work for necessarily every service, but to get into the pay per leads game, and that could be, and one of them that's not on here would be local service ads with Google, or the Google Guaranteed program. And so that may be something that you get into. And then another piece of this puzzle, another piece of the pie, social media advertising, getting some ads out there, whether it be on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, maybe even TikTok. And then maybe a referral program inside your office. You're offering gift cards. You've got a newsletter going out. You've got a rewards program, some kind of point system, whatever it is. But we really want to have a lot of these working for you. And it's usually not enough to just do SEO unless you're super patient. It's usually not just enough to do pay-per-click. And so we really want to dominate online. Then we've got to get several of these pieces of the pie in place. Now, today, again, obviously we're talking about pay-per-click, so I'm going to move on, but I just wanted you to see that sometimes it's not just enough to do a little bit. You've got to have all of the pieces moving. Now, why pay-per-click should be a part of your internet marketing strategy is that, look, you're going to start showing up quickly, especially if you've done ads before. Maybe someone you did ads and someone didn't do a good job, but you've got that data. Well, we can take that, or you can take that and give that to Google, and they can those ads can get going relatively quick. Now, if you've never done ads before, you've never done any internet marketing, when I say you start showing up quickly, that depends on budget. You've got to be willing to spend some money. Google's ads are not cheap. But also, it's going to take a little bit of time to get those ads drilled down and fine-tuned. So it's going to take at least 30 days before we're really where we want to be, sometimes 45 days. So I don't want to set the expectation that we could write some ads, turn those on for you tomorrow, and your phone's going to start ringing off the hook. That's usually not the way that it works. But you are going to show up much quicker than you will with just search engine optimization. You should be doing search engine optimization, SEO, but not just SEO. PPC needs to be a part of it. With PPC, you're also going to show up as often as possible where your customers are looking, and you can show up for non-geo modified searches. So if you want to service an area that you're not really near, but you're servicing it, you've got this big, huge service area. And with your search engine optimization, you can't really hit all of that necessarily, but you can target those pockets with ads. And it doesn't matter that you are 2 hours away from that. If your guys are willing to drive, or you've got some service guys over in that area, you can put ads wherever you want. You can run ads across the country, and it's not affected by your physical office location in the way that search engine optimization is. And then unlimited scalability. You can grow this thing if you do it right, and if you put some budget behind it. This can grow, and you get in a rhythm of you're spending, for every $10 you're spending, you're getting a $700 job. That's a good place to be in when you get those ads fine-tuned. So I do believe 100% it should be a part of your internet marketing strategy. Now, here's why most campaigns fail? Here's a few reasons. Here are 4 reasons that a lot of campaigns fail. All right. One is that a lot of people don't understand the Google Ads auction process and the complexity of the industry. So when you are running an ad, you've got to stop thinking of newspaper ads. You got to stop thinking of television ads. Stop thinking of how billboards work. It's nothing like that. You are setting a budget, but you're also bidding, and you're telling Google how much you're willing to bid on a click, and you're bidding against your competitors. And so if your budget's not enough, and if your bid, if your maximum bid is not enough, then you're just always going to be second or third, or maybe at the bottom of the page, or maybe not even showing up at all. And you're going to lose out on a lot of those impressions because you didn't really understand that it was an auction, and you didn't understand that you're bidding up against each other. And so you just had this, well, I'll pay $1 for a click. Well, all your competition, they're willing to pay $5 for a click. And so now you're bidding and you're never winning because you're bidding up against these guys that are willing to pay 5 times as much as you. The other thing that we see people do a lot is they just don't take the time to set up multiple ad groups for their services. They set up one ad group for all of their services. So for instance, if you're an auto mechanic, you don't want to just create a campaign called sales and then have one ad group. And then in that one ad group, you have an ad for brake repair, an ad for new tires, an ad for diagnostics, an ad for 100,000 mile service. You want an ad group for each of your services, depending on what they are. And inside those ad groups, so you've got campaign, then you've got ad groups based on your services. And then under each of those ad groups, like let's say you've got an ad group about brake repair, then you've got several different ads that you're giving Google to work with so that they've got some variety when it comes to showing ads about brakes and why people should hire you to fix their brakes. The other thing is people don't use specific text ads and landing pages for groups of keywords. And so you take a group of keywords, and we're going to focus on brakes, brake repair, brake pad installation, stuff like that. Well, you don't want to, one, that ad needs to be specific to those keywords, and it needs to include those keywords. And then there really needs to be a page on your website that when someone clicks on an ad all about brake repair, we don't want them to land on the page that's about oil changes. So, and we really don't want them to land on a page that's just got like 15 services. We need to build out landing pages that correspond to the services that you're promoting in your ads. And so you need to talk to your website guy about that. The other thing that we see a lot is no strong call to action. And especially we're not seeing offers on the landing page. Ads perform much, much better. And I don't have a stat for you, but ads perform much better when there is an offer on the landing page. 10% off in October. $15 off of a service call, $50 off of any job over $700, that sort of thing. People respond to offers. People usually don't respond to ads that are just like, hire me, buy my stuff, use us for your service. We're better than everybody else. People mostly respond to ads and landing pages that have offers in them that's going to save them some money, incentivize them to call you over the other guy. If all things considered are the same, and you're up against another guy, and you both do landscaping, and your competitor, they're just saying, hey, we're the best landscapers in Montgomery, Alabama, so hire us. And you're saying, hey, we're great landscapers in Montgomery, and we're giving away $100. We're knocking off $100 off of any $700 or and over service now through December. So that offer draws people in. And so I really encourage you, anytime you run an ad, whether it be on Facebook or Google, anywhere you run an ad, include an offer. Even if it's teeny tiny, offer something. All right. Let's look at this case study example, okay? If you look in the top left-hand corner, you've got leads via PPC, okay? So 224 leads came in from this a little bit more than $9,000 spent over the course of the month. The average cost of the lead ended up being $40.23, okay? And in this case, this client's average ticket item or average ticket is about $3,000. So if we look down here, there was out of the 19,754 impressions, okay? That's how many times the ads showed up in search results. That cost, that resulted in about 816 clicks, which is a 4.13 click-through rate. So 4.13% of the people who saw the ads actually clicked, which resulted in 816 clicks. Okay, 4% is a really good click-through rate. A lot of times we're happy if it's 1.5%. Anything above that is great. Okay, so 4.13%, that's great. So 816 clicks resulted in 224 of those converting into leads. Okay, and so when you do the math here, if we come down here and look at this and do the math, you've got your number of leads, 224 leads that came from those 815 clicks. Well, let's say that your conversion rate out of those 224 leads that either called or filled out a form or chatted you on your website. And that's another thing we see missing, is that a lot of people just don't have a chat feature on their website. And your millennials, your younger generations that are starting to buy houses now, they don't want to call you necessarily. They want to chat on your website and get some answers real quick. They want to text you. And so make sure that you got a text and a chat option on your website. So 224 leads at 27%, that ends up being about 59 booked jobs. So out of those 815 clicks, we ended up in that $9,000 that was spent, 59 booked jobs. This average ticket is $3,000. I realize some of you guys, your average ticket's more than that. Some of your average ticket is less than that. But that 59 jobs at $3,000 each, we're looking at $177,000. That's an 8x the return on that $9,200 spend. Or, well, the projected ROI was eight times, but it actually turned out to be a 20 time return on the investment. So that $9,200 ended up turning into $177,000 because the ads were done right and because they were being worked on. And Google Ads, you don't just sit them and forget them. They've got to be worked on. You've got to be adding negative keywords. You got to be structuring them for the minimum cost per lead and the maximum ROI. So let's talk about this. This may be a good one to screenshot if you're here on the webinar. But how to structure your PPC campaign. All right, first, conversion tracking is a must. There's some great tools out there, CallRail and call tracking metrics. Those are two that we use, and those track the calls and let our clients know that this call came from this ad. And you can even record the call. And so like what we see a lot of times is, yeah, we're getting the calls, we're getting the traction, then we go listen to the calls, and the person on the phone is just not good on the phone. Honestly, they don't really need to be on there making those calls. And so, yeah, you're getting 200 calls a month from these ads, 200 leads, but you're only closing 10% of them because your person on the phone stinks. So there's lots of breakdown points. So we've got to be tracking this stuff. Your campaign also needs to be broken down into smaller ad groups that are targeting the various services that you provide so that your text ads match what the person actually types. So you want to get the keywords, you want to figure out what people are actually typing, and then we want to break our ad groups into groups of ads that reflect the text that the people are actually typing. So, you know, best lawn care service. Well, we need a group, an ad group about the best lawn care service. And so then you got to make sure that you've got a good understanding of keyword match types, and you can't forget about negative keywords. You can just Google keyword match types, but there are broad match, then there's phrase match, and then there's exact match. So broad match keyword would just, you know, we would just say lawn care. If you set your keywords as broad match, and you'll see this as you get into the Google ad interface, but if you just set up broad match keywords, then it's going to be pretty broad. You're going to get some irrelevant calls because Google is going to take lawn care, and people could be searching, you know, what do I do about fungus in my yard? And all you really want to do is get calls about actually going and maintaining a yard and just cutting it. You don't want to treat a yard with chemicals. And so those broad match keywords are going to be pretty broad, but they're useful sometimes. Then you've got phrase match, which is going to tighten it up a little bit. It's not going to go grab everything, and you're going to have to be a little bit more specific with you know, phrases like, you know, regular lawn maintenance, lawn mowing services. And then you have the option of exact match keywords, and those your ads are only going to show if someone types in that exact word or that exact couple of words together. And then you also need to be going in and watching and Google will show you what words are triggering your ads. And if you're seeing some words that are triggering your ads that are totally irrelevant, then you need to start adding some negative keywords. I'll give you an example. We had a roofer client. We're running some roofing ads for them, and they start getting people clicking on their ads, calling them, looking for the Red Roof Inn hotel or motel. And nothing in our ads said anything about a red roof. Nothing said or anything about a motel or a hotel. But one, people don't read. Someone searched Red Roof Inn. Our ads were triggered because of Google's algorithm figured that our ad was a good one to show, which shows you that Google is not perfect, it's not all-knowing, and that it has to learn. And so what we end up having to do is go add Red Roof Inn as a negative keyword, so that we just go ahead and tell Google, no, don't show our ads. We don't want people clicking and costing us $2 or $3 or $4 or $5 for clicking on our ads when they were looking on the Red Roof Inn, wasting our time. We answer the phone, have to convince them we're not the Red Roof Inn. All right. Hopefully that's making sense. You also need to write compelling text ads that resonate with what the customer typed and entice them to click you versus the competition. Okay. So it's not enough just to say, hey, we're the best, hire us. You want to let them know that, look, we have been in business over 40 years. We are trusted. We're family owned, and we're offering 15% off now through October 30th on any job. Leverage ad extensions to make your ad stand out on the page. Google wants you to use ad extensions, and ad extensions are a way to take up more space take up more real estate on the search results. Okay, so Google gives you the option to add some extensions, like a call extension where your phone number would show up, and there are some different other service extensions and product extensions, and you can just look through. There's a whole list, but you can add different extensions to your ads, and that way your ad goes from here to being that much taller and taking up that much more space and pushing the person below you that much further down. And so your ad's now 5 or 6 lines where their ad is 3 lines. Yours is double the size, and yours is grabbing their attention. You've also got to land them on solid, well thought out pages on your site that are built to convert. Okay. And so you've got to get your website in good shape. You may not need to go build brand new landing pages, but you don't necessarily always just want to send them to the home page. You want to send them to the service page that corresponds with the ad group or with the ad set that you've got running. And so you want to make sure that at the top of those pages, it's clear what you want them to do, that the offer's there. Call us or text us, fill out this form, whatever it is you want them to do. That needs to be the first thing that they see, and really build that to convert. And then there's some ongoing split testing and tweaking and fine tuning, adding keywords, adding negative keywords, adjusting some text, getting rid of ads that are not performing well that Google doesn't like for whatever reason. Now, again, don't even think about spending another penny until you have the conversion tracking in place, because if you don't do the conversion tracking, and let me tell you a little bit more about conversion tracking. If you don't do this, you're just not going to have an accurate view of how your ads are performing. So with conversion tracking, what these tools are going to offer is kind of a dynamic number swapping with a different phone number for pay-per-click versus organic or direct traffic. So what that means is when somebody comes to your website, if they came through the ad, they're going to see a number that lets Google know, that lets the tracking software know that this call came from this ad. Now, sometimes people aren't comfortable with the phone number switching on the website. Okay. And I get that, because maybe your phone number's on your trucks, it's on ads, it's on a billboard, whatever. And so you don't want someone coming there and seeing a phone number. But the truth is, we don't memorize phone numbers anymore. We just tap phone numbers. So people really don't care what your phone number is. Okay. They're just tapping in the phone number. They assume it's on your website. It must be you. And then they tap that, and with that keyword pool and dynamic number swapping, then we can track the phone calls back to the keyword in the campaign. And we can see that these keywords, these campaigns are actually outperforming these others. So let's get rid of those. You also want to track your web forms. Make sure that you've got your conversion tracking. These tools all have a feature where you can track forms. And so we know that this ad sent this person this ad resulted in this person filling out this form, and they filled out the form. We called them back. It turned into a $3,000 job. And so, hey, we made some money. We're getting a return on our investment there. And then you want to have conversion tracking built into your AdWords campaign to determine which ad group actually generated the lead, because you may end up with an ad group that's just underperforming. It's just not doing well for whatever reason. And you just shut it down and shift all the budget to this, to the AdWords, to the ad group that is really generating leads. So the most important KPIs, what you really want to be looking at, you want to look at the total spend, how much you're actually spending. If you set $1,000 a month, fine, keep an eye on that. Then you want to find out what's your average cost per click. If you're really in a really competitive market, in a really competitive industry, then $1,000 is not going to get you very far, because the cost per click is going to be really expensive. If you are in a rural area doing a really unique service without very much competition, then you're going to get cheaper cost per clicks, and you're going to get a whole lot more clicks and calls for that $1,000. If you are a personal injury attorney in downtown Atlanta, well, you're looking at $150 per click for personal injury lawyer near me, okay? Because those result in $1 million lawsuits or whatever. And so $1,000 there, that's not even going to get you a click per day. You're going to be lucky to get 6 clicks per month, and that's really not enough to turn into a phone call, okay? And so you've got to have some deep pockets if you're going to go after those really expensive keywords. But let's say you knit sequin cat sweaters out in rural South Carolina. Well, you're probably looking at less than $1 per click, and that at $500 can get you 500 clicks. 500 clicks can turn into 200 phone calls or 200 leads, and those leads can turn into 50 orders, and now you've sold 50 cat sweaters at $20 each. And you've made how much? You've made $1,000 there. So and you only spent what, 500. So you kind of doubled your money there. So you can get a return on an investment, but you've got to do the math, and you've got to pay attention to the cost per lead and the cost per click. All right. Now, how to structure your pay-per-click campaign. This is a big deal, and this is where a lot of us, it can get confusing and it gets boring, and we just kind of rush through it if we're doing it ourselves, and we haven't really taken the time. But we've got to make the campaign, we've got to break it into smaller ad groups and target the services that you provide so that your text ads match what the person actually typed. Okay, so here's an example of structuring your PPC campaign. All right, let's say you're a fire and water damage restoration business, okay, and you do mold and smoke. All right, so you want to have a brand campaign, and a brand campaign is just focused on your actual name of your brand and some misspellings of the name. Just so you want to make sure that if someone is looking for you, you want to make sure that you're showing up in case your SEO is not really firing on all cylinders yet, and it's not getting you to the top. So we want to make sure that you're showing up, your brand is showing up. But then you wouldn't want to just make an ad group for restoration and have an ad for water, an ad for fire, an ad for smoke, an ad for mold. You'd want to break these up into ad groups based on the different services you offer. So water damage restoration would be an ad group. Fire damage restoration would be an ad group. Mold remediation would be an ad group. And smoke damage would be an ad group. And then you'd have different keywords in there: water damage service, water damage company, water extraction, where you would write ads based on those different keywords. Include those keywords in your ad text, include those keywords on the landing page that the person is going to be routed to when they click on your ads, and then add those keywords into your keyword list inside of Google. All right, so this one, again, here's a good one to screenshot or come download later. A couple keyword changes in 2021. I hit on these a second ago, but Google did change the keywords structure this year. So now it's just phrase match keywords are going to replace these broad match modified. You used to have this broad match modified keywords, and I want to explain, but pretty much broad match modified and phrase match keywords were pretty much doing the exact same thing. So they got rid of the broad match modified and just using phrase match keywords. And those phrase will serve ads to, again, that phrase that you are looking for people that, lawn service or custom custom cat sweaters, whatever it is, but they're going to catch some variations of that. Okay. Broad match keywords are going to use the signals with AI to deliver more relevant searches, but it's still going to be pretty broad. Google's trying to make their AI smarter and smarter, the artificial intelligence smarter and smarter, but it's still a robot. Okay. So broad match usually is not where we land. Okay. And then exact match keywords are becoming more powerful. So searches that mirror an exact match keywords are definitely going to take precedence over related searches. Okay. So if you've got a service that really has a specific name to it, specific set of words that you really want to hit people when they type in this exact phrase, then that's for you. If you can write some ads and make some ad groups that are all about that exact keyword, then you're going to do pretty well, as long as that fits your business. Now, you still need to write compelling text ads that resonate with the customer, resonate with what they type, matches what they type, and you got to entice them to click on you instead of the competition. So less is more. Keep them short, get to the point, tell them exactly what you want them to do. Go here, register now, download this coupon, download our free guide, download this, call us today, fill out this form, tell them exactly what you want them to do. Don't just leave it generic. Hey, we're the best. We're here for you. We've been in business over 50 years. Here's our phone number. Say, hey, call us today. Fill out this form and get 10% off your next service. If you got a special offer, again, that's all the better, but give them one decision to make and push for it. Don't offer too many options to stray from your site. So we don't want to say, call us or text us or fill out this form or fax us or page us or send a carrier pigeon. Any of these work for us. You want to say, call us. If you want people to call you, tell them to call you. If you want to just get text, or maybe you want to qualify people a little bit more so you're not wasting too much time on the phone, weeding them out, then maybe you want them to fill out a form and answer a couple of questions and make sure that the services matched. That sometimes can work. Might have actually been a client. Again, Google is doing something different too that I thought we would mention. They're automatically adding local extensions to your ads. Local extensions are making ads show up in what we would call the map pack. So when you search restaurant near me, you see the 3 top restaurants with the best reviews and stuff like that. And so that's called the map pack. Sometimes you'll see at the top of that, you'll see a 4th entry, and it's got the little green ad box by it. Used to end up in that spot, you would have to create a local ad extension in your ad campaign. Now, Google is just automatically doing that for you. So that's cool. And your ads could start showing up in the map pack and without you having to create local extensions. So it saves you some time. And of course, if you're a local business, it's something that you certainly want. Call extensions. Call extensions are a big deal. Okay. You want to get those call extensions in there. So all people have to do is click on your phone number. You got to land visitors on a solid, well thought out page on your site that are really built to convert, and so this is all about schedule your free estimate now. We're going to give you 100% satisfaction. The estimate's going to happen within 24 hours. We've got a discount for military seniors and essential workers. So go ahead and schedule your free estimate now. That is what we want you to do, is schedule a free estimate. So we've got an offer in there of a free estimate. We're going to guarantee you that you're going to be satisfied. We're going to be quick, and we're even offering discounts for certain groups of people. And so that's a well thought out landing page that's going to convert people. Now, here's how you can accelerate your lead flow with the paid service. You're going to get the conversion tracking in place, because you've got to measure it. Anything that matters is worth measuring. Okay, if it matters to you, measure it. Your campaign's got to be broken into smaller ad groups, like we mentioned. You've got to have a strong understanding of those keyword match types, and don't forget about the negative keywords. You want to be watching, make sure that you're not wasting money. Add some of those negative keywords in there, and weed out irrelevant phone calls. You need to write compelling text ads that resonate with what the customer is typed and get them to click on you versus the competition. Leverage those ad extensions, and then get them on a well thought out, solid landing page. Okay. Here's a couple questions to ask your PPC provider. Maybe you're already paying somebody to do it. Maybe you're thinking about hiring someone to do it. You want to ask a few questions. One of those would be, how much of my budget will go to Google AdWords spend versus management fee? So if I'm giving you $2,000 for my ad campaign, how much are we spending on Google and how much are you keeping to manage this thing? Because it does take time. Everybody's going to charge management fees. We do it a little bit different. You pay Google directly for your ad spend, and then you just pay us directly for the management fees. We don't combine that, but a lot of people do. But so you need to know how much is going to Google and how much the manager is keeping. You want to find out what type of tracking are they going to be putting in place? Are they going to use a tool like CallRail? Are they going to delineate PPC calls versus organic calls? Or you need to ask them, am I going to be able to see exactly what calls came from the ads that I'm paying you to run? And then how are we going to track the key performance indicators? Or am I going to have a dashboard? Are there going to be the key metrics on there where you show me how much I spent, how many clicks I got, what my click-through rate was, and how many of those converted to leads? Are you going to show me all that? Am I going to be able to go look at that, or am I going to have to figure that out myself? Because really, you need somewhere that just kind of boils it down and shows you the major important numbers. Then, do you split test ads for each ad group? Do you come up with a couple versions and see which one's working the best, and then get rid of the one that's underperforming? In the first couple of weeks a couple of months for ad campaigns, there really needs to be some split testing and seeing what works and what's not working, because you just kind of never know. There's a lot of testing that has to happen. Are you going to be leveraging all the ad extensions to make my ads stand out? That should be an easy yes for them. And then what are our targets in terms of cost per lead and return on investment? So usually we can do some math and kind of give you a target. It's not going to be exact, but we can pretty much tell you, if you spend this, you can expect this many clicks. Now, based on that many clicks, we don't know how many of those clicks are going to actually pick up the phone, because then that's where the landing page comes in. And then we don't know how many people who call are actually going to hire you, because we don't know how good you are on the phone. But we can give you a good feel for this much money in this area with this budget is going to result in this many clicks. All right. And so you want to get as much information up front as you can. Okay. And then think about how to make your campaign better, or what makes our campaigns better and different. I don't want to give you a sales pitch here, but we do all that. And we can certainly help you do that. But if you're looking to hire someone and you want to just, you need to do this, but you don't have time to fool with it, then just to let you know, we do. We optimize the pages on your website. We do the call tracking. We split up our ad groups. We do the testing. We give you a dashboard where you can see that. And we just have complete transparency, because it's easy. There's a lot of shady characters out there. And so we don't want you to get ripped off. And so we want to make sure that if you're going to go with someone, if you're going to hire someone, whether it's us or anyone else, make sure you ask them these questions. And of course, if you're looking for help with this, you can always schedule a call with us, socialsphere.link/discovery, or you can just drop your phone number in the chat, and we'll give you a call later and see how we might be able to help you. But we are definitely here to help you guys. And of course, if you're ever looking for a free marketing strategy session, you just kind of look over everything, see how you're doing online, look at your keywords, see how you're ranking on Google, take a look at your directory listing, make sure you're showing up consistent across the internet. Let's take a look at your reviews and see what your reputation's like, your social media, and then your website conversion effectiveness. We would love to talk to you. You can call me there directly, 678-759-9989, or schedule a strategy session at socialsphere.link/strategy. We'd love to help you, but whether we help you or whether you do this yourself or you hire someone else, we firmly believe that pay-per-click should be a part of your overall marketing strategy. It can help you scale your business, grow, get you more phone calls, get you more leads, get you more clients, and eventually more revenue, and everybody's happy. So hopefully you've learned something. Again, if you got questions, send me an email, jono@socialspheremedia.com. Always happy to help. Again, thank you guys for being